I'm going to show you a cool technique using tissue paper and water. So the first thing you're going to want to do is spray your piece of paper with the water so that it's damp, not soaking wet. And it's important that you use the right kind of tissue paper. This is bleeding tissue paper, which means that the color will soak out onto the paper, which is what we want to have happen. So if you've noticed how I've organized my colors, warm colors and cool colors, I'm going to create an artwork that has warm colors in the middle and cool colors going out to the outside to show the difference between the warm colors and cool colors, and because I want these warm colors to really stand out, so surrounding them with the cool colors will help with that. So now I'm going to take my spray bottle and I'm gently going to spray maybe 5 sprays on my paper and just wipe the water across so that my paper is shiny. You do not want to make a lake. And now I'm going to start laying my paper, my tissue paper, into the wet paper. And I'm just kind of overlapping a little bit. Couple little sprays to get it a little more wet, but I don't recommend doing too much because once you have the tissue paper on there, it won't take much before the paper rips. So just be very gentle. I'm gonna do one more warm color. No. Let's go like that. Okay, now I'm ready to add my cool colors. I'm gonna get my paper a little more wet. And I'm going to do some cool colors going around the warm colors. I noticed that some of my papers were not wet, and the color, you can see how the colors somehow, some places is getting onto the paper, but not everywhere. So you might want to give it a couple other sprays. Just being mindful, don't make a lake, but really making sure everywhere there's paper that it's sticking down onto your white paper. There, that looks a little bit better. All right, so now I would put it on the drying rack. So this is now the next day, and the tissue paper is dry. So I'm going to be able to take off the tissue paper and see what is left behind. And now I have some choices. I could draw into this with Sharpie or oil pastel, or I could get some paint and paint more in here. You ask your artwork and decide where you want to take this. This is just a technique and a way of getting the color from the tissue paper onto your paper. So I'm just going to experiment with a couple of things. You might remember doing a similar technique in first grade when we were talking about organic shapes. Maybe you want to use oil pastels, make lines. So just have fun experimenting with this and give the bleeding tissue paper technique a try if you'd like.